Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. In these troubling times, we just have to keep our heads up and keep moving forward, because as in all things, this too shall pass. Tonight, I wanted to do a really quick video and show you guys some of the apps that's on my iPad. Many questions I get about, what type of apps I'm using to create videos and Instagram posts, Facebook posts, whatever it would be, what I'm using to edit video. I think I did a previous video showing how I use LumaFusion. I also use Infinity Photo for most of my photo editing, and as well as Darkroom for a lot of the raw editing straight off the camera. So I'm going to walk you guys really quick through a number of these apps. As far as the iPad, this has become my favorite device for recording and editing video. So let's start off with this first app. This is, and what's cool about it is it's a lot like Lightroom. If you're familiar with Lightroom, you have all of the same features. You can adjust your lighting, your contrast, your brightness, highlights, shadows, your white points, all of the same features. You have a lot of built-in plugins, to do different things depending on what it is that you're trying to do for your image. But the most powerful part of this tool is that you can edit your raw photos, whether it's coming off of your smartphone or if it's coming from, your mirrorless or DSLR. This app will get it done for you. And I know most of you have seen LumaFusion, and like I said in my previous video, but if you're looking for an application that is perfect for editing anything up to 6K footage with no problem, no rendering, you just literally pull your files in and they play. It's pretty much that simple. You can put almost anything on this timeline and it'll just run through it with butter smooth. Just look at that. You see how fast, actually this video clip that you're seeing here is in reverse. So I reversed the clip from yesterday, just playing around, and you'll see here, this is 4K footage playing back real time on an iPad. And to be clear, this is the 2018 iPad, and yes, there have been a 2020 version of it released here recently, but it's basically the same iPad with a new camera and a few other little features. If you have the 2018, whether the 11-inch or the 12.9 like I'm working with here, you don't need to upgrade. It's the same thing. So the next app that I keep on my dock is going to be my Files app. This allows me to get in really quick and go to my iPad, my Dropbox, iCloud, recently deleted photos, anything that I download. This is the quickest way to find those files, get right to them, move them, whatever I'm going to use them for. And I keep that right here on the dock. So for a lot of my people out there in the motorcycle community, some very helpful apps that you guys can put on your devices that are pretty much universal. You can look at things like Spark Post and Spark Video for producing flyers, for upcoming events. So with these two apps, they're very similar. You can just go in and find, a type of flyer that you might be interested in, for something you're going to post on Instagram or Facebook. You can choose one of them. You can go in, you can remix it. You can change the colors. You can go with color swatches. There's just so many different things you can do with this simple app, and it's free. So as you see here, it'll just jump from one color to another. You can choose your graphics, you can choose the layout, however you want the file to look. It's just a matter of experimentation, finding what works for you and making it work. for your upcoming events or projects, or even if it's just a local ride or something, you just want to put something out there on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you want to do, it's there. Also in here, I have, things like, Flickr, if you still have a Flickr account, for those few of us that do. Capture Pilot, I use that for the most part when I'm shooting in studio or on location and I'm shooting tethered to like my MacBook. And this app here allows the client to then take the iPad and they can see the images as they come in real time without having to stand over my shoulder while I'm shooting. Now, here's a really cool app that you guys may really enjoy, and this also works on iPhones as well as Android devices, and it's called Unsplash, and you can find some really cool wallpapers for your devices. It's constantly updating from the community that uploads the different files. So if you're looking for something specific, you can find it. You can just go here, click on save, add to, if you want to add it to or download it, or you want to star it, and then you can save it for later. Maybe you want to use it as your wallpaper or something like that, or even use some of these images sometimes as a background in a video. So those are the most important apps that I use here. I do have Snapseed on here. I really don't use it that much. Amazon Photos is just on because I have Amazon accounts and they allow me to utilize some of that storage space. I do the same with Google Photos. It's all free. You can use that as well. Let's see, going into the next folder. This is more the backup stuff that I would use maybe for video. So everyone on a Mac or having an iOS device, they're familiar with iMovie. Another cool app you can download for free that you can find on the iTunes store. Quick is also connected to the GoPro app. So with Quick, you can go in and create videos. You can download your files. So you can, choose a certain amount of files if you wanted to, and you wanted to make a really cool slideshow. So this is also a free app. You can just download it. And if you're using a iPhone or if you're using an Android device, it's designed to be used for GoPros, but you can literally use any device's content within that app and create little short videos, from 30 seconds up to, whatever your imagination will, permit. Now, here's another really cool video that video editing app that I found. I haven't really learned a lot about it. I've seen the basics, but what's cool about this app, you can do one or two things. You can create animated GIFs or you can create videos. So for me, using something like this, I would use it if I was going to be creating a video. So if you chose a video file, let's say a couple of them, what else we want? Oh, maybe just a photo, okay? And then you go to next. Then here you would decide what you want your aspect ratio to be. Most of the time it's going to be 16:9, but let's say you wanted to do something for Instagram. Then you would choose the 4:5, click next. It's going to compile the information, and then you see here to create the little video. Now, you can go into some of these and you can rescale the video so that it fills the full width of the video. But like I said, I haven't really spent a lot of time working with this app itself. So it's one that you guys can play with. If you're interested, I will look further into it and maybe do a video on that one. Fantasy is a really cool one too because it allows you to go in and find new fonts that you may want to add to one of your devices. Like I use it for LumaFusion and for Affinity Photos. If I want to use say for instance, this specific font, I can just go here and I can say open copy to LumaFusion. and then it'll open LumaFusion. It will add it to the directory, and it'll tell me that the font is now available to be used. So if I go into my titles and I choose a basic title, just something, just let's grab one, just drag it down here. Now let me see exactly which font that was. Okay. So we go in, go to text, tap on our text, and we can just write, anything, blah, 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 blah. And then you can go back in and choose that text. And we're looking for, which one? And where is it? This one, okay? So now there's that new font just added. And then you can, customize these. You can make them as large as you want them to be. It just depends on what application you're using, the fonts for. But it is also 100% free. So if you're interested in that, guys, take a look at it. I'll put most of these apps, if I remember to, down in the comments. But if not, just look at the title here, look it up, and you'll be able to find it. You should be able to find this same app for iPhones as well as Android. Let's see, the next folder is more my entertainment folder. So I got, Sci-Fi Network, HBO Go, DirecTV, Apple TV. If you get a new Apple device, you get Apple TV for a year. Music app, YouTube Studios. I use that for like keeping track of comments and replying to people. CNN, I don't know why the app's here, but it's in here. And also Prime Video, which is also associated with Amazon. The next one is just the few social media apps that I have on the iPad, which is, my Messenger app, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Periscope. So in the Office apps, I keep all the basic things, messages, FaceTime, shortcuts, my Google Assistant, settings, Chrome, Safari, Mail, a few apps that Apple provides you with, which is Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. I have some Amazon devices in the house, so I have the Amazon app here. Motorcycle stuff on the iPad, the only thing I have on here right now is Tunnit, Cycle Trader, and my Cena utility app, for configuring my Cena devices on my helmet. Let's see. The Apple stuff is going to be, the iTunes Store, the App Store itself, and, obviously Google Assistant is also in this folder twice. I have it on this iPad for some reason. And this is some things that's music related, GarageBand, Voice Memo. The other two apps are plugins for GarageBand, and they just are basically limiters or compressors to help the audio sound a little bit better. News is a really cool app because it gives you a lot of different news feeds from different sources. So you can go in here and you can pick the sources you want the news to come from. So whether it's CNN, Vice, there you can go in and choose the ones that you want. I believe this is a free app. I didn't pay for it, so it must be free. So you have your different newses. You can set up different categories and keep track of those as well. So it'll give you all of the news feed pretty much in one place. If you get bored, which many of us are these days, just scroll to and find what you're looking for. That's the news app. Then I have my weather app here. I have my Find My Devices, which is, find your phone, your tablet. If something comes up missing, you should be able to track it down. Stocks, I usually keep that in my widget, to keep track of the few stocks that I have invested in. This Genie one is for our lights in the house. The measuring app is really cool. I don't really use it that often. Then you have like the home kit from Apple, and also tips. I never use those. And let's see what's next. iPods and books, I don't really use them. I just put them in a folder, just to have them there. As well as my shopping apps is Amazon, Best Buy, eBay, and Letgo. There's a few others that I use on my phone, but the iPad version of them is just like with Instagram. It's not a full-size version of the app. So if I go into, say, Instagram as an example, under the social media stuff, if I go to Facebook, I actually get a full-size page on Facebook where I can see, all of the content. I can go to my page and, everything is there. It's designed for a tablet. But when you go to Instagram, it's just the opposite. It's based, and it also will turn the device sideways. So you get this view, and if you put it in its native size, it's really designed for a smartphone. So, there you go. But it's still there. Sooner or later, I'm sure they will develop a full-size version for iPads or for tablets. But, that's it in a nutshell, guys. That's pretty much everything that I have on the iPad. So if you guys have any questions about any of these apps, or if there's any of the apps that I've shown here you'd like to see more, and you can't find the information yourself, I'd be more than happy to do a more in-depth look at those apps. So if that's the case, just leave it down in the comments and I will get to it as soon as possible. I got a lot of free time on my hands, so trust me, I'll probably do that video. But until then, guys, I want everyone to stay safe, wash your hands, take care of each other, and remember, all of this will pass. We'll get back to normal in a very short period of time. It's not going to be instant, but it's going to happen. So keep your heads up, keep moving forward, and until then, thank you for riding with me. Peace. I'm out.